Great minds think alike. This is one of my favorite idioms and favorite sayings, although it hasn't been around as long as many proverbs and idioms have been. It's only been around since about the 17th century. Dabbridge, I love the name, Dabbridge Court. Dabbridge Court. Who has the name Dabbridge Court? Dabbridge Court Belcher wrote it in a piece called Hant's Beer Pot in 1618. That's where it first appeared in writing, but that means it's been around a lot longer than that. But what I discovered as I was studying this idiom, and I never knew, was although we think great minds think alike, there's an addition to that idiom, to that proverb, to that expression that I have really never heard before. And there's two different versions. There's great minds think alike, fools seldom differ, or great minds think alike, small minds rarely differ, which is basically the same thing, meaning great minds think alike, but fools and small-minded people and closed-minded people always think alike as well. So do great minds really think alike? Well, I have mixed feelings about this expression, about this proverb, about this idiom. I have worked with great minds throughout my life and throughout my career. I have read and studied many great minds and great thinkers. I'm going to tell you, I don't think very many of them thought alike at all. I think they thought independently. They came up with their own conclusions. They had brilliant insights that only they discovered and shared with the rest of us. Now, it doesn't mean other people didn't think like them and have great minds. It just means they didn't necessarily share it. So we don't know if they did or not. My experience in corporate America has been on teams and things. Teams to me are an incredibly powerful way to get anything done in our business. Building teams, surrounding ourselves with people is incredibly powerful in terms of getting synergy and getting more done and having a bigger impact in our business, in our life, and in the world. But if we hire a bunch of people that think exactly like we do, if we're the top banana and we hire a bunch of people that think exactly like we do, have the same backgrounds, there's no diversity, we end up with something called groupthink. Have you ever worked with a group that all had groupthink? We've seen a lot of that in the media these days, and in at least in America, we're seeing a whole lot of groupthink that is really, really frightening and scary because people are not all people. A group of people in America these days are all thinking alike, and they're being, led by the media. They're being led by media companies like social media, and by an elite group of people that want to take over the world, or at least that's the story that's out there. And we're seeing a lot of actions and behaviors that to me aren't very American, but that's a topic for another day. But that is an example of groupthink. Brainwashing is a huge example of groupthink. Media manipulation is an example of groupthink, and groupthink is something I never want to be a part of or in my organization, because I encourage people to think for themselves, make their own decision, make their own choices, have responsibility for their area of expertise, and share that information with the other people that need to know it in our organizations to make our organizations grow and thrive and become better and better and better, because we're all seeking to have synergy in our teams and in our organizations and in our businesses. We're seeking to create something bigger than we could just on our own, bigger than we could with just the founders of our company, bigger than we could to increase and change and have a positive impact on the world. Because if we have synergy and diverse backgrounds and different perspectives in our company, we make better choices, we make better decisions, we make faster, easier decisions. I know there's a lot of debate over, team decision making takes too long. Well, it does if you don't have the team set up to make quick decisions. But that is a leadership challenge. That is a training issue. It's not an inherent, it has to always happen when you have teams involved. Although the old school management belief is that I can make a decision better and faster by myself from the top than a team can make a decision. And my experience has been just the opposite. Given the right team, given the right training, given the right expectations, teams can make much better decisions than I would make on my own. And they can also make them quickly if that's the expectation. I've worked with great minds in masterminds, but again, I think that one of the advantages of the mastermind is the diversity of the wisdom of the members of the mastermind. Coaching, I don't hire a coach to think just like I do. I've hired coaches in the past, and I hire coaches now who think differently than me. I want them to know stuff that I don't know so that I can move faster in the direction I want to go. So I'd love to know your experience with this. Great minds think alike. I'm going to tell you right now, I say great minds think alike. And I've said it a lot of times in the past. Whenever there's a coincidence or a circumstance where someone else or two people will think of the same thing at the same time, it pops right out of my mouth. Great minds think alike. Because often we aren't the only ones that have an idea, right? If we think that we're the only one in 7 billion people that has an idea, we're probably a little bit deluding ourselves, because 7 billion people all thinking have ideas all the time. And so chances are any idea I come up with, somebody else on the planet or on the planet previously has thought of that idea, but maybe they didn't act on it. The difference is if I act on it, I now own that idea. So great minds think alike sometimes, but they also doesn't guarantee that it's great minds thinking something if everybody is thinking the same thing. Love to know your experience with this. Share in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business? And not only in your business, but in your life and as an opportunity to make the world a better place. Have an amazing day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.